on today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're going to look at the CNTL Knob Static EXP by EHX. That's alphabet soup. So it's really the control knob static expression pedal from electro-harmonix. And the Beard is going to tell you about it, decipher the alphabet.
You didn't want to show the inside of your...
I did, that's right. I forgot about that. That's why I told him I wouldn't mess up. Your soul control.
I think you had it upside down.
Your soul control. I told him I'd change the intro and I'd do it perfectly. How'd I do? Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, so this is essentially an expression pedal. Mm-hmm. Relatively inexpensive. You know, this was not one that we were like, oh, maybe we should try and get in. Let's contact EHX. Let's just buy it. Let's buy it and get it in. Because not only good for the show, but a good piece of kit, I think that we're going to be able to use on our own situations outside of PJ and the Beard. So a lot of the pedals we've been getting in lately have had expression controls. We have a couple of expression pedals we've been using. First, we have the Volume XL. I'm not going to try and hold this under the camera. Not strong enough. By Dunlop. Fairly big pedal. Fairly heavy pedal. Can be a volume pedal. There's an input and output. Also can be an expression pedal. There's an out for a tuner. Real nice sweep on it. Sturdy. Isn't going to get away from you. It's a good pedal. That's the first one we've been using a good bit. The second one we've been using, and I will say that this one tends to work more.
Right.
So different expression pedals, different manufacturers, the way they set up their expression jacks, sometimes it's like a ring tip, sometimes it's a tip ring kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Or there's something to do with something that's beyond us.
It's on the inside. We don't open things.
Right. And this one tends to work more often.
So that's the Moog EP2.
Right. A little lighter, a little smaller. Has the little knob on the side, so you can... If you want your toe to not be the full range of the knob on the pedal, you can back that off. Right. So if toe is really too fast, you back this off and it doesn't get as fast. And maybe one downside is the
integrated cable, that if it goes belly up, what do you do?
Right.
You have somebody open it, and that's not me.
So we have, like I said, been getting a lot of pedals in that use expression pedals. My favorite so far is the Pigtronix Rototron. It has two expression pedal jacks. One controls the high rotor, one controls the low rotor. You can use two at a time. You can use a dual expression pedal. You can do really, really wild things. We did an episode on this. If you go near the end of the video, we're using the expression pedals, and then we love that so much. I think when we were playing out, we were using it, and we loved it so much we just rearranged, hooked it up in stereo, and did it again. So put on some headphones and check that out. It's awesome.
Here I have the JHS Emperor V2 that we actually got in part because of the Leslie series that we did, that Leslie Sound series. And part of the reason was because Josh Scott, when he was playing his own pedal, which isn't all the time, he had an expression pedal, and he said, listen, when I go all the way to toe, that fast rate kind of emulates a Leslie. And that's when I'm like, oh, well, let's see what it's all about. Mm-hmm. But an example of the EP2, Josh likes to really kind of juice the levels and has fun and plays quirky stuff. Maybe not practical for my application. So that EP2 would be great because you could take that top end of the rate, not crazy unusable. But that's one pedal we got in and can control with an expression pedal.
So lots of pedals, lots of different, it's not just modulation stuff. You could get delay pedals with expression pedals on them. I think the Source Audio Nemesis I have, which isn't here, has a expression port. You can set up like tails or, whatever. that you want to control. So delay pedals, modulation pedals, and then there's things like this. This is the Walrus Audio Kangra. And it has a fuzz side, which is great, and then it has a filter side, and I like filters. And on that filter side, you have an envelope filter or just, the frequency sweep. But instead of turning this knob, you can hook up the expression pedal and then sweep that knob with your foot, which gives you a very wah-like control of the pedal. It's fantastic. Maybe not for everybody, but fantastic. And we did an episode on this. We'll put that in the cards.
Staying in the Walrus Audio family for the Tremolo series, we have the Monument. And we pulled this one off the shelf because we think this one is going to feature our new friend pretty well, because this pedal, unique probably, there's 5 different knobs. You got volume, subdivisions, rate, shape, and depth. And you can assign the expression pedal to maybe everything but volume.
I think so, yeah.
So you could do that. So it got kind of weird in the subdivisions when we tried it. Rate is rate, depth is depth. And then you can go through the shapes. And I was saying to Jason, I said, well, that's kind of cool, but it would be hard to find a practical application, because let's say there's 5 shapes. What if you want 2 and 5? Well, you're going to have to start at 1, get to 2, hopefully you get to 5 and don't overshoot it. So this guy that we're going to talk about today would be a solution to that potential problem. But we wanted to show this pedal, a great tremolo pedal,
right.
A lot of features. Walrus Audio has been very great to us. So
yeah, you could really dial into the 2 that you want.
Right.
But we're not going to use it with that pedal right away.
Because we'd spend more time patching and unpatching.
Right. So the thought was initially, well, maybe we should hook this up to a bunch of different pedals and show how it could control different parameters. And then we were like, well, then there's the Wampler Terraform. Mm-hmm. Again, another pedal we've done several demos on. We did demos on, one of them looks at some of those unique features like pre and post, and I think the expression pedal and things. So you could learn more about how to change the parameters there. Right. Today we're just going to show you how it works. So the control knob is a very simple pedal. We got 2 knobs. One's expression 1, one's expression 2. We have an output for a TRS cable to go into your pedal of choice. And then on the right side, there's a little knob on the side. So and it's called the TRS plus or minus, depending on how the manufacturer of the pedal you're using, how they have their pedal set, either to press that knob or take that knob out.
And it came with its own cable.
It came with its own cable. So the only downside of this pedal that we've found is we have to have it on the left side right now, because the jack for the TRS is on the left side and it came with a straight TRS jack, which means you're not putting anything next to it. So you could get a right angle TRS jack. Mm-hmm. I half wonder if they might have been better off sticking that in the top.
Right.
But anyway, you can figure that out and probably do that pretty well. So, clean tone, reference tone.
Yes, right.
We're using the Revolta Mondada 8 through a Tyler Amps PT22. And that sounds a little bit something like volume.
Yes.
Where are we at here?
Yes! It's not just me. I usually forget to turn the volume on.
So, what we've done is found 3 different sounds, changed some of the parameters, set one of the parameters to work with the expression pedal. First sound we're looking at is the Leslie, the rotary speaker simulator, and we changed the blend.
Right. The most practical one.
Right. So, expression pedal expression 1 is set all the way to blend all the way to the left, which means it's just like the bass rotor of a Leslie cabinet. Expression 2 set all the way to the right, which means it's just the high horns. And that sounds something like...
So again, nothing that you would maybe actually use, but we found a creative way. A lot of times people are like, well, how would you use this context of a song? And we're not good at that. But we decided, what if you start the song in that AM radio-ish high, squashed frequency and then kick into the full. So I just changed the expression on the low end to not be so muffled, and we're going to do this.
You brought it up more balance between the bass and the horns.
Right.
So if we were starting that off again, it would be like...
Worst knob switching ever. I'm like, he's going to cut. Nope. Nah, I pushed it too early. We're not going to redo it. We're just going to keep going.
So, again, that's setting that up to the blend of the two rotors. So not necessarily, it doesn't always have to be speed or depth or anything like that. What's the next one we did?
I think it's the phaser, or it's the envelope filter.
So this one's on the envelope filter, and we're just going with the stock setting, with stock the expression pedal will control. We didn't, and we're not even sure what knob that is, to tell you the truth.
Right.
But to give you an idea, something like... It's cool.
Yeah. Again, just trying to show what the expression knob would do, the control knob.
Yeah, I like that. It's really cool. And then the last one we looked at was, well, we're doing Tremolo series.
Right.
So let's get the harmonic trem. Two very different settings, and it's going to be, I think, depth this time, right? Mm-hmm. So one with a very high depth and one with a very, almost no depth at all.
Right.
And that sounds like...
Figures I did better on the more complicated one than the easier one. I thought I did better.
So,
good job, buddy.
This is why he always plays guitar and I push the buttons.
Oh, don't even get me near a diddle looper. It's a disaster. I erase half the stuff we ever put on it.
So, I think that's it.
Yeah.
And again, so one of the things, I think, to wrap up, this is an expression pedal. And if you think your standard expression pedal, because you were asking me this before we started,
right?
You have two kind of options. You have heel, and then you have toe, and you have everything in between. Each one of those knobs is almost like having two expression pedals plugged into your pedal. So the first knob all the way down, heel,
right.
All the way up, toe. Second knob all the way down is heel, all the way up is toe. And so what they're allowing you to do is set where you want your heel to be or your toe to be, and on the other one. And you can do...
I think we did the best with the Leslie to show that, right? Because this was the low rotor only, and then when I turned that blend in, it blended the two, with still having the extreme on the other.
So you're basically just getting two expression pedals that you can put wherever you want them and leave them set. And then flopping back and forth between the two. So if you don't like taking something like this with you,
right,
but you want to have some control, the control knob is perfect for that. And if you think about like what you could do, if you have a tremolo pedal that has an expression set, you could set a slow tremolo and a fast tremolo. If you can control the depth, you can set a hard depth and a soft depth. So you can really get creative on where you could use that. It doesn't have to be rate or depth. It could be, depending on the pedal that you're plugging into.
Just adds to the creativity.
Right. And there's a whole bunch of other things I've been thinking about for it. So it is one of those, at the price point it's being sold at, which is really accessible, and the versatility, if you have a couple expression pedal ports, I think electro-harmonix knocked it out of the park. So with that, again, we really appreciate everybody that's been watching. Everybody that takes the time to subscribe, click the like button, hit notifications, leave comments going out to Instagram or Facebook, and following us there and interacting with us there. Every time you interact with us, it really helps the show and what we're doing and makes it possible for us to do more. So we appreciate that. We don't want to ever miss the opportunity to tell you. And with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear. And he's going to play out on the envelope filter, and he didn't know that. But
I'm waiting for you to play
being
out.
a jam, there's no distortion pedal. I can't play out. What are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh. No distortion. That's really
I was going to say, if you could get that to feedback, that'd be pretty magical.
That's really no fun.
The CNTL Knob. Sounds like a boy band.